What if the only reason you feel stuck is because you're thinking too much? You don't lack intelligence, you don't lack effort, but your mind is running a silent war behind the scenes, endless thoughts, looping doubts, what-ifs stacked on top of what-ifs. And instead of moving forward, you freeze, you delay, you shrink into a space that feels safe but suffocating. Overthinking doesn't protect you, it traps you. Right now, you might be carrying invisible weight. The constant noise in your mind, the pressure to make the perfect decision, the fear of getting it wrong. You second-guess your choices, replay past mistakes, and predict the worst-case scenarios. You spend hours thinking, but leave with no peace, only more questions. You lie in bed at night, exhausted, but your mind refuses to rest. And you wonder, why can't I stop thinking like this? It feels like a flaw, like you're broken. But you're not. You're human, and your brain is trying to help you feel safe, but it's using fear instead of clarity. That's what overthinking really is. Fear pretending to be preparation. Your mind says, let's be careful, but really it's saying, let's never move. And the more you think, the less you do. The more you imagine, the less you live. Your energy, your passion, your progress, they all get buried under the weight of too many thoughts. But here's the truth. You don't have to live like this. You don't have to stay stuck in your head while life passes you by. There is a way out. There's a way to calm the noise, to make decisions with confidence, and to see things clearly again. You can break free from the fog. You can feel peace in your chest again. You can learn to think without drowning in it. And when you do, everything changes. You'll stop fearing mistakes and start trusting your growth. You'll stop waiting for the perfect time and start building a meaningful life with the time you have. You'll begin to feel powerful, not because the world becomes easier, but because you'll stop battling your own mind every day. Imagine waking up and knowing exactly what matters. Imagine taking action without questioning your every step. Imagine no longer being afraid of your own thoughts. That's not a fantasy. That's what happens when you stop overthinking and start seeing clearly. You're not here to stay small. You're here to take up space, to move, to grow. But you can't do that when your mind is stuck in loops of hesitation and fear. This moment right now is your opportunity to choose something different, to stop letting your thoughts control you, and to start taking your power back. Stay with this message, because what's coming next will show you exactly how to do that. You're not broken, you're just buried. And the tools to rise, clarity, confidence, peace, they're already within you. It's time to clear the fog. It's time to breathe again. Overthinking isn't a habit. It's a survival instinct that's gone too far. Your mind is trying to protect you from pain, from failure, from embarrassment. So it spins. It analyzes. It replays the past and imagines every possible future. It tells you to wait until you're sure, until it's safe, until you know exactly what will happen. But that kind of certainty doesn't exist. And the longer you wait for it, the more your courage withers. Overthinking doesn't keep you safe, it keeps you small. And every time you doubt yourself, every time you hold back, you teach your mind that fear is in control. Fear dresses itself as logic. It sounds like a voice of reason. It tells you to think it through, to be careful, to prepare. But preparation without action becomes paralysis. You think you're getting ready, but really you're running in circles. And while your thoughts expand, your life contracts. You avoid making decisions because you don't want to get it wrong, but indecision is its own form of failure. Not choosing is still a choice, and it leads to regret that runs deeper than any mistake ever could. You don't need to know the outcome before you act. You just need to trust that you can handle whatever comes. Because you've done hard things before. You've faced uncertainty and found your way through. You've survived storms that you thought would break you, and each time you learned, you grew. That strength is still inside you. But overthinking buries it under fear. It convinces you that you're weak when you're actually powerful beyond measure. Start questioning the voice that tells you to be afraid. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or holding me back? Is this fear keeping me safe or keeping me stuck? Every time you pause to ask, you weaken the pattern. You take your power back. And slowly the noise begins to fade. Your thoughts stop running you. You start guiding them. Overthinking thrives in silence and secrecy. But when you face it head on, with awareness, with truth, with courage, it begins to lose control. You don't have to silence your thoughts to find peace. You just have to stop believing every one of them. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every fear deserves your obedience. You are not your fears. You are not your doubts. You are not the noise in your head. You are the awareness behind it, the quiet strength watching it all unfold. And that strength is unshakable when you trust it. Your mind may try to slow you down, but your spirit knows how to rise. Listen to that. Follow that. Because the life you want isn't found in perfect plans. It's found in bold steps. You don't need more time. You don't need more answers. You need courage. And it starts by choosing to believe in your ability to move forward, even when the outcome isn't certain, especially then. When you've lived in the grip of overthinking, you begin to doubt your ability to decide. You question your instincts. You second-guess your choices. You hesitate not because you're unsure of what's right, but because you've forgotten how to trust yourself. And without trust, every decision feels like a risk, every step feels like a test. But the truth is, clarity doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from believing in your ability to face anything. Your strength doesn't live in the outcome. It lives in your willingness to move. No one sees clearly through the lens of self-doubt. And the more you wait for perfect certainty, the more fog you create. The world doesn't need more cautious thinkers. It needs more bold hearts, people who can walk forward even with shaky hands. You don't build clarity by thinking harder. You build it by choosing. And every time you choose, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted, that your mind may be loud, but your will is louder, that your fear may whisper, but your courage can speak back. You don't need to control everything. You just need to control your response. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take the next honest step. And when you stop trying to predict life and start participating in it, your vision sharpens, the noise quiets, the pressure fades. Because you're no longer trying to avoid the fall, you're learning how to land. Self-trust isn't built through perfection. It's built through repetition, small, consistent acts of choosing, deciding, acting, letting go of the need to know how everything ends. You are not designed to live in pause. You are made to move forward, to create momentum, to become clear not by watching, but by doing. You don't have to get it all right. You just have to show up with honesty and courage. Your past doesn't disqualify you. It teaches you. It prepares you. But it can't define you unless you keep dragging it into every moment. Let it be a reference, not a residence. Stop asking your past self for permission to become who you were always meant to be. Start giving yourself the authority to act from today's wisdom, today's clarity, today's strength, because this moment is new, and you are not who you were back then. Your mind might still want to overthink. That's okay. Let it speak, but don't let it lead. Redirect it. Refocus it. Remind it who's in control.
You are. You always have been.
And every time you choose action over hesitation, every time you trust yourself when it feels easier to wait, you step into the version of you that's been waiting to lead, the one who's clear, calm, and powerful, not because the path is easy, but because the mind is no longer the enemy. You're not here to overanalyze life. You're here to live it fully, boldly, clearly. Overthinking doesn't stop on its own. It feeds on silence, repetition, and hesitation. The longer you let it run, the deeper it digs in. But there's a way to interrupt it, not with force, but with intention. The mind doesn't respond to pressure. It responds to clarity. And clarity doesn't come from thinking harder. It comes from slowing down, stepping back, and taking control of the space between thought and action. That space is where your power lives. It's where your freedom begins. You can stop the spiral, not by eliminating every thought, but by directing your focus. Awareness is the first break in the cycle. When you become conscious of the pattern, you create a choice. And that choice is your turning point. You can either keep spiraling or you can stop, breathe, and reset. You can ask yourself, what's real right now? Not what might happen, not what went wrong, but what's actually in front of you. Your power isn't in predicting the future. It's in showing up to the present with strength, honesty, and full attention. You don't need more information. You need boundaries for your thoughts. You need to tell your mind when enough is enough. That means setting limits. That means deciding when to stop thinking and start acting. The more you practice it, the stronger your clarity becomes. The thoughts will come, but they won't control you. You'll begin to separate what matters from what doesn't. You'll stop chasing certainty and start creating movement. Take action, even small, imperfect action. When you move your body, you shift your mind. When you write your thoughts down, you take them out of your head and put them in your hands. Or when you speak your fears out loud, they lose their grip. Action grounds you. It brings you back to reality. Because you can't think your way into peace, you act your way there.
Even one clear decision is enough to break the loop.
One choice, one step, one commitment to move forward is all it takes to begin again. Don't wait to feel fearless. Don't wait for the noise to stop. Begin in the middle of the chaos. Begin when the doubt is loud. Begin even when you're not sure. That beginning will silence the spiral faster than 1,000 overthought plans. You don't have to finish everything today. You just have to break the pattern today. And the moment you do, your brain learns a new way of being. Present, powerful, and clear. This is your turning point. Not tomorrow, not later, now. Not because everything is perfect, but because your clarity matters more than your comfort. You've waited long enough, you've thought long enough, it's time to do. It's time to interrupt the noise with bold movement. The mind will always whisper fear, but you can answer with action. And in that answer, you'll find your strength again. You'll find your peace again. You'll find you again. The moment you begin to move, everything changes. Clarity rushes in, not because the path is suddenly clear, but because you're no longer waiting for perfection. You've stopped analyzing and started responding. You've shifted from watching your life to living it. And in that shift, you reclaim something powerful. Your ability to choose, to act, to rise. The mind quiets when the body commits. Doubt fades when direction is chosen. And fear loses its grip when your heart stops negotiating with hesitation. This is where your real power lives. Not in knowing everything, but in becoming someone who moves anyway. Every step forward builds trust. Every decision made without overthinking proves that your strength isn't found in certainty. It's found in courage. You begin to realize that clarity is not a gift you wait for. It's a skill you build through action. And the more you move, the clearer things become. Don't underestimate the power of small wins. A single decision made in confidence can unlock momentum that changes everything. A single yes to progress can dissolve weeks of doubt. The brain learns from experience. Show it that you are someone who acts, someone who decides, someone who doesn't freeze in the face of uncertainty, but breathes through it, grounds through it, moves through it. That's how mental fog clears. That's how you regain control. When you take ownership of your thoughts, you stop reacting and start leading. You stop letting emotions dictate your pace and start using intention to shape your day. Clarity isn't about having all the answers. It's about knowing what matters right now and moving in alignment with that. It's about filtering out the noise and focusing your energy on what actually brings you peace, purpose, and progress. Let go of the pressure to always be right. No one sees the full picture in advance. You were never meant to. You were meant to feel your way forward, to adjust as you go, and to grow through the choices you make. Every misstep becomes a lesson. Every detour, a new insight. You don't need guarantees, you need commitment. A willingness to keep moving even when the future feels unclear. That's where real clarity is born, not in the absence of fear, but in the presence of purpose. When you choose to stop feeding your doubts and start feeding your drive, you activate something unshakable within you. Your clarity deepens because your vision is no longer clouded by endless hesitation. It's focused, it's clean, it's direct, because you chose it. You're no longer chasing confidence. You're building it. You're no longer searching for the perfect answer. You're becoming the person who can handle any answer. This is the turning point, where the fog lifts, where the noise fades, where you finally begin to feel the ground beneath your feet. This is how clarity begins, one intentional step at a time. And that next step is yours to take now. You are not an overthinker by nature. You became one by repetition. Somewhere along the way, you learned to question yourself more than you trust yourself. You learned to delay instead of decide. You started waiting for clarity instead of creating it. But habits are not identities. They are patterns, and patterns can be broken. You don't have to keep living in a loop that drains your peace and silences your potential. You can choose to become someone new, someone who sees clearly, moves boldly and trusts fully. That shift begins when you stop calling overthinking who you are and start calling it what it is, a habit that no longer serves you. Identity is powerful. What you believe about yourself becomes the lens through which you see every choice. If you keep saying you're someone who can't decide, who always overanalyzes, who gets stuck in their head, you'll keep proving yourself right. But you can change that. You can decide to become someone who sees clearly and acts with purpose. And the moment you make that decision, everything you do starts to align with that new belief. You speak differently, you move differently, you show up with a different kind of energy, not the energy of hesitation, but of direction. Your mind follows your identity. If you believe you're confused, your brain will find reasons to confirm it. If you believe you're calm, focused, and capable, your brain will begin to look for clarity instead of chaos. This is more than motivation. This is the foundation of transformation. You're not here to repeat your patterns, you're here to rewrite them. You're here to evolve. And that evolution starts with the story you tell yourself when no one's listening. You already have the power, the strength, the focus. You just buried it under years of second guessing. It's time to bring it back. It's time to wake up the part of you that knows what matters and moves without fear. You don't need to wait for someone else to give you permission. You are your permission. You are your guide. And every time you choose to act with clarity, you reinforce the identity of someone who leads their life, not watches it pass by. See yourself differently. Speak to yourself like you would someone you believe in. Replace hesitation with intention. Replace confusion with choice. Replace fear with presence. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to return to the part of you that was never afraid to begin. The part that was clear before the noise. The part that's still inside you now, waiting for you to remember. You've come too far to let doubt lead. Too far to let fear speak louder than your purpose. Choose now. Breathe deep. Stand tall in who you are becoming. Your clarity isn't coming from the outside, it's being unlocked from within. One thought at a time, one belief at a time, one bold decision at a time. This is who you are now, and the world is ready for that version of you. You are no longer obligated to repeat the old version of yourself. The one who waited, the one who questioned every move, the one who overanalyzed instead of acted. That version served a purpose once. It tried to protect you. But you've outgrown it. You're stepping into something new, something stronger, the mindset of clarity, the energy of decisiveness, the power of peace. You are not here to remain trapped in loops of hesitation. You are here to live fully, speak boldly, and act without the burden of endless mental noise. Clarity is not found in overthinking. It's found in stillness, in choosing to simplify what fear tries to complicate. It's found in knowing what matters and refusing to get lost in what doesn't. Your thoughts may try to pull you in 1,000 directions, but you don't have to follow. You can pause. You can breathe. You can choose where your energy goes. That is control. That is power, not in mastering every outcome, but in mastering your focus. Start treating your peace like it's sacred. Guard it, defend it. Overthinking drains the soul because it keeps you stuck in a mental battle with problems that haven't even happened. You solve nothing and lose everything, your time, your energy, your confidence. Let that end now. Declare that your peace is more important than the illusion of perfect answers, because it is. A clear, focused mind creates far more progress than a chaotic one trying to anticipate every variable. You are capable of more than you've allowed yourself to believe, not because you have all the answers, but because you're willing to move without them. That willingness makes you unstoppable. That faith in yourself, that belief that you will handle whatever comes, that's what builds the life you want. That's what separates growth from stagnation. It's not about being fearless. It's about being honest with yourself and choosing action anyway. Every decision made from alignment strengthens your identity. Every time you move forward with intention, the voice of doubt gets weaker. Every moment you honor your truth instead of your fear, you break free from who you used to be. That's the shift. That's the transformation. You stop overthinking because you've started living fully, intentionally, powerfully. Right now, you are standing at the edge of who you were and who you're becoming, and you don't need permission to cross that line. You just need a choice, a commitment to leave behind the noise, the delay, the fear of getting it wrong. Let that go. Step into the version of yourself that is calm, clear, and decisive, That version already exists inside you. It's been waiting for your courage. This is your moment, the end of overthinking, the beginning of clarity, not someday. Not when everything's perfect. Now. You've already taken the first step. Keep walking, keep rising, keep choosing peace over panic, simplicity over chaos, courage over fear. That is how you change. That is how you win. That is how you finally see clearly